YouTube, what's going on? It's your guy CJ here. I just want to come give y'all some content that's gonna give y'all insight as into why I decided to start streaming again and what kind of propelled me and just gave me the excitement into it, man. It kind of gets deep, not too deep, but kind of deep. And we talk about a few things, but enjoy the video, man. I know for some people they probably wanna appreciate that I run with your multiverses too. Now I have nobody that I planned on running with. I was just gonna hop on and run and just see what was with the new characters. But that's you just kind of go with the flow. You'll figure it out what you need to do. But that's on you. What you feeling? But so like I was saying, it's gonna be a little more serious. I mean, you can screen record. You cannot, or you can if you want, can if you don't want to. But I'm just try to talk. So, but anyways, like I was leading off before I read all the comments. A lot of people I know probably want to know why my headset loud. I even decided to get back into streaming or posting videos or doing anything like that and hopping into it the way I hopped into it. Well, it kind of got a little background to it. It kind of goes because if you want to be honest, I started not necessarily streaming, but doing little videos way back, like on 2K16 for real. But I knew I wasn't going. At that time, I knew I wasn't gonna stick with it because, hey, I didn't feel like I had time. Especially at that time I was younger. I was working, had more stuff going on in life, getting ready to go to college. Well, I was in college, so I was going through college and working and doing all that stuff, right? So the first time I got into it, I really wasn't. I was just in it to be in it. I really wasn't doing it to do nothing. We kind of just wanted to post our gameplay somewhere to see what we was doing in the game, wrong or not wrong, and just kind of had like little highlights that's somewhere. Because me and my boy Kobe Kip, we kind of had that idea of doing that stuff early on, probably about 19th grade for real. I remember when Kip got the old like capture card where it had the yellow, red, and white plug-in jacks. That was so complicated, but I remember when they got that, that was on Xbox, and I was like, bro, I got to get one too, because then they was gonna start making videos. But I don't know what really ultimately happened in that situation, but I know, really nothing came of it. Nobody, as far as got big or anything like that. And I think that's kind of what it was. Kind of fell out of it, and we're gonna talk about that part. So, but yeah, that's a little bit of backstory on that. So we did all that back then, and we go on and go on. So, for those that know and don't know, so in college, this would have been somewhere about 2018, or what that? Yeah, that would have been. I'm just skipped that far. So I ended up getting a job at Gandamount. Did that. I worked at really good at the job for a long time. I was the youngest supervisor at the job, or in the corporation in general. I had a record within the corporation where I sold the most credit cards to people, and that was a pretty big deal, honestly. And it really was nothing hard to do selling people credit cards. It was just doing it in a way that seemed kind of convincing. And I'm not necessarily saying you like trying to throw it over somebody's head and undershadow it or undermean it by saying that it's not a credit card, because I definitely would say that, but you get what I'm saying. So anyways, had that job again amount, and then probably not about 2018, 2017, you start hearing stuff about the place going out of business, man. So you hear about it going out. I hear about it going out of business. So honestly, in my mind, I kind of go into a panic mode almost, because it's like, all right, now what I'm gonna do after this? Get what I'm saying? Because I had this job, I was in it so long. I had got up in this position, and I had planned on going to other positions, within the business, and it just didn't fold that way, which is it's okay, but that's what I wanted to do. Oh, let me change my camera. I'm going crazy, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So I I was in the job, right? And ultimately we came to our last days of closing, which was fun, but we came to our last days of closing. And I kind of just like I was saying, got in a panic mode, and then that's when I turned, my head back to streaming. So I ended up getting, a bunch of stuff for Christmas. I ended up getting a capture card. Ended up getting, well, actually that was before. Or was that? Yeah, no, actually, oh yeah, at the same time. So I ended up getting like, a capture card. Ended up getting a mic. I ended up getting a webcam. Um, and decided I was gonna hop back into it and get into it because my job was gone essentially. So in that time period, really when I got into streaming, I kind of got into it for, I would say personally, I would say really the wrong reason. Like, what I mean by the wrong reason was I was just trying to do it because I wanted to end up, making some more money because I didn't like the idea of, you know, being down and being looked, or at least thinking I would be looked at in a weird ways in terms of, being a bum and not having any money or making any money and that kind of sort of thing. You feel me? So really, like I said, I panicked, hopped into the streaming thing, and when I went into it, initially I was having fun with it because, it's cool and it's something I like to do. I like to play games and, entertain. But I kind of ended up falling out of it because I was in it for the wrong reason, if you get what I'm saying. So, pretty much the whole time while I was doing the first or the second stint of streaming, I would say most guys ain't gonna say it, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna say it because now I know it, and I know I told a few people this. I know I told my wife this. I think I told my parents, but I really went through a period where I was kind of, depressed for a minute. Like honestly, I went through a period where I was really depressed for a minute because I had pretty much gauged myself to get this image or make myself feel this image that I was gonna fall into like a bum route or situation, which is my fault. It's kind of stupid, but I fell into kind of like that state. Why? I don't know. It has happened. Now, I personally never, or don't have a problem with depression. I can say, but I know in that moment that's what it was for sure. Because thinking about it now, it definitely was that. Because I really just felt like I was just kind of like stuck, if you want to be honest. There was so much going on, trying to figure out what I was going to do next, and I just felt stuck. So, I mean, luckily, I ended up coming out of that and, you know, eventually shaking back and getting a good job, working alongside with my dad, doing stuff in the business, which that's what I do now. I got a good job now, self-employed, doing stuff for my father. And it pulled me out, but that's not the only thing that pulled me out. What pulled me out was the fact that I had a lot of love on my side. You know what I'm saying, man? I had love coming from obviously my family, my wife, uh, anybody you could think of, but it wasn't like love necessarily directed to the idea of like you gonna get up, you gonna make back, you gonna shake back. It was just the fact of you got a lot of people in your corner, right? And personally that you got a lot of people in your corner that that love you and support you, and that's what you really need. And that's what I would tell y'all. That's the biggest thing you need. You need to make sure you have people who love you for you and love you for doing the things that may seem weird to people, but they love that you do it. You get what I'm saying? You got to make sure you got people that love you and love what you do because they love you. You get what I'm saying? And that's kind of the idea into it. So now we fast forward back to now, into the weeks prior when I just kind of like picked it back up and hopped back into it. Just boom, hopped into it. So with that, I just kind of like, man, I knew I had no worries, and I'm not trying to get into this thing and be like, super big, super hurrah on, you know, trying to be the biggest. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm being me and doing what I gotta do, I know that I will have an opportunity to do whatever. No matter how big, no matter how small. I just want to do it because it's fun, and that's what you gotta make sure you do too. You can take this all through life, man. You gotta make sure whatever you're doing and you turn to doing, you ultimately gotta make sure you're having fun with it, right? If you ain't having fun in it, it ain't gonna work. You can't always look at everything onto a monetary side, which obviously everybody want to make money. Yeah, we human, but you gotta have fun making money, right? You gotta make sure you're having fun doing it. And how I am now, I came to the realization that I like to have, different avenues of stuff, coming in. And this space right here was a space that I knew personally I could do it because one, I got the equipment. Two, play the game all the time. Three, I got love and support that's gonna be there. So yeah, of course that's what you say. Of course. Yeah, right. But yeah, so yeah, you got love and support to be there, right? So really all in that to say is, man, just when you get into something, make sure you get into it for the right intentions, right? Cause money can break you. It can. Some of your richest people can be the brokest. And that's a bar. You hear me? Some of your richest people can be the brokest. It probably sound like I'm preaching, but I'm just being honest with y'all. Some of your richest people can be the brokest. But yeah, man. Just gotta keep the love in your corner. And exactly. Keep the love in your corner and, push on. No matter what's going on in life. If you need to talk, you don't necessarily I would say, find people to talk to, but make sure, you stay prayed up and you keep love in your corner. That's gonna always boost you to do the right thing and keep, the path going and keep you going. But man, we here again, streaming the third time in a row, and they say the third time's got to be a charm, right? So maybe it's the charm. Maybe it's it. We'll see, man. We will see.